I'm really excited to tell the story of what happened to JJ when she left us.
This JJ storyline has been brewing for a while. When they told me that we were doing it for the 200th, I obviously was incredibly excited and incredibly scared.
We had thrown around so many different versions of JJ Gets Captured. We knew that we were planning on doing that in the new season. The story I pitched was actually supposed to be the first hour before that, because I never envisioned that I would be the one writing it. I assumed that it would be Messer. And so what I pitched was the flashback part of it, and that we see that leading up to her abduction, and then it launches us into 200, which is the rescue by the team. The bigger surprise was finding out that what I pitched was actually going to be part of 200, and that there was going to be a lot. We were going to tell Messer's tale of JJ in jeopardy. We're going to tell the flashback stories and tell the team part of that, and all of this was going to be in 42 minutes.
No, we don't have time for that. It's already been 24 hours.
I started mentally preparing myself for the years of life that it was going to take off of me.
I would have loved to have told the whole story because I feel like there's a lot to tell there. But the most important thing to me was to arc JJ and to show the young woman who left the BAU that day is a little bit a fish out of water, and then things happen to her professionally and personally in that year that have changed her. And I don't want to say hardened her, I think some people believe that, but changed her and made her stronger. And for me, it was really important to show how all of that happened, the professional aspect and the personal aspect. And it's a pretty fulfilling story.
I was just so excited to finally know what this backstory was and who she is and her past and what she did when she went away. I was so excited to get the script, and it's a ride. It's one hell of a ride.
Every week we see victims on the board, and we talk about what they're going through and what the team's gonna have to do to save them and what the unsub's gonna do to them if we don't. And we decided to take our tough woman at the center of the show and put her through what all of our guest cast have to go through every week to see how that affected the team and how that affected her.
It was a little daunting when I first read it, and I thought, how are we gonna do this in 44 minutes? And how are we gonna sell this? You know, because it's crazy. She gets electrocuted, she gets waterboarded, she gets tortured nonstop. It all just seems like a lot, but somehow, Larry Tang, you are a god. He had this vision, and somehow it came together and it worked.
And action. I wanted everything to be as real as possible. You know, it's very easy to kind of read the words on the page and to think, oh, this is all very heightened material. But I felt like if we can keep it grounded in a certain emotional place for her, you know, we can really believe it more.
There were scenes that we shot there where it was uncomfortable to watch because it's someone that you know and that you work with every day who is being tortured, who's being waterboarded, who's going through all of these things. And she was so, bring it. Like, what's next?
We didn't quite waterboard her, but we came close. We hosed her down. You know, she really hung there for, you know, a good 12 hours. I mean, she was a real trooper. But I think in the end, it really contributed to the authenticity behind the performance.
I loved every second of it, even the waterboarding part. I'd say beginner waterboarding. If I was actually being tortured, it would be much worse. But yeah, they dumped the water on my face and you start filling up. So that wasn't acting, that was just me freaking out. And I can check that off my bucket list now. I've been waterboarded.
It was thrilling as a company to see everybody step up, bring their A game. And the idea that we shot that for the budget we shot it for and made it look like a movie, I mean, it was fantastic.
From the very beginning, we knew 200 was gonna be a challenge. Once we had settled on the idea of the flashback stories, suddenly it was, well, how do we make Afghanistan happen? Larry was phenomenal in kind of overcoming the practical challenges. And, you know, our special effects guys and stunt guys are just so amazing.
Today we're at Blue Cloud Ranch. I've never actually shot here before. It's a great location. There's a great Afghani town down there. We got to do something that I've never done before, which is IED explosions with a convoy of Hummers. Number one is just logistically, how to prep the Hummers. We put steel plate under the bottom of the Hummers because we knew the explosions would be in the ground for real with stunt drivers and fire. We had a day of testing, which was awesome. So we really nailed down the power we needed and the colors and all the powders and fire, and we nailed it. Even though there was a lot of people involved, they were all in military vehicles, which are real military vehicles. So I felt very comfortable from the beginning that these guys were protected. And then we went again and put steel under the vehicles. So my safety concerns on something that looks so big were actually quite minimal. Most of it's just the rehearsal, so that when we go to push the buttons, everybody's where they're supposed to be. It's a one-take deal.
I think with the Humvee explosion, you wanted to make sure that initially just getting into the scene, that there was a sort of the calm before the storm. You had this scene happening between JJ and Hastings.
Too many people have died for us.
Just so you weren't tipping the fact that something was going to happen. And then once we got to the explosion, was hopefully everything falling into the right spots so that the remainder of the scene could play out sort of the way it needed to play out. You know, all the cars had to go to specific places, and we had to sort of get to a certain geography within the landscape in order for everything to work. And luckily, I think we did that.
Fire and all, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Roll down, please. Rolling. And action on the convoy, guys. Action.
Too many people have died for us.
There's something else.
It's hard to see JJ, sweet little JJ, go through all that stuff, but you know, it was a rebirth. We had to see that stuff in order for her to go from the sweet, innocent JJ we know to who she is now. She grew up, and she was forced to grow up, and she was forced to see the darker side of things.
We threw so much at her in that episode, and she did it without hesitation and just so honestly that, like, you feel the journey that she goes through.
Your code now. Oh, this time she loses more than a baby.
100 was about Hotch. 100 was about the male core of the team. And 200 is going to be about our female center.
So what are we going to do? We call in reinforcements.
If JJ's in trouble, there's no way we're doing this without Prentice.
Debrief me on the plane. I'm on my way.
You're back for this one. Yeah, it's great. Erica asked me, and I love everyone here, so I said, yeah, sure. I will give you my December. I would love to.
We're so lucky. You know, we could not tell this story of the 200th without her.
Emily, you saw JJ during this time. Did she ever mention crews or details of the investigation?
I mean, for me, that's what it was all about. You know, the 200th episode, no matter what it was, I don't care if it was a JJ storyline, anything, I just wanted her to come back for that because she was a big part of the show and she will forever be a big part of the show. So I, of course, was thrilled that it got to be such an intimate storyline between the two of us. And, you know, I just think it was really nice for the fans to see what an honest, true, deep relationship they have.
Come on, JJ. Something's obviously different about you. You commandeered an Interpol jet. You're profiling me. Why didn't you say your transfer was a backstop? Do you ever feel like you're in way over your head?
It took us back to when JJ was helping her get out of the country. And I just love that she reciprocates. As soon as JJ's in trouble, she's right there to help her friend. You know, save the day, really. Prentice saves the day.
People may be on the other side of the planet, but this family and this team, they stay together no matter what. That's how these two women have always been to one another, because that's how the family dynamic of this team has always been.
To have Paget back, and it was only for 8 days, but it felt like the family was reunited. And I'm not just saying it to say it. It was nice to have the whole team back together.
It's been fun. I mean, it feels like I never left. It's been really fun, I gotta say.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, it is. Did you see a dangerous platform built out in the parking lot?
3, 2, 1, go!
That's
might have
trouble
something to
Friday
do
night.
with it.
Trouble. It's
boy.
Friday night.
Yeah. I think people that really love the female characters in the show are gonna really dig this episode. Yeah.
It is no coincidence that the very last scene is Paget and AJ at the top of the roof as the male narcissist plummets to his death.
I got you.
We are here today to celebrate a very, very special achievement. 200 episodes is pretty extraordinary. Everybody should celebrate each other, applaud, and give yourselves a big, big cheer. You are delivering a big-time successful show every week. Your storytelling, your production value. Shows don't get to 200 episodes without characters that audiences fall in love with. This is what sets you apart from every other show on television. It's with your hard work and efforts that we're able to stand here to celebrate this impressive milestone. Thank you all. You are an amazing crew.
There's so many people here that I'm seeing who were here from the very beginning. I'm very grateful to all of you for the great work that you've done, and I thank you.
This doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of the diligence, the talent, the patience of not just the cast, the crew, every single person connected with this show for the past 9 years. Everybody's contributed because it's important, because they believe in it, because we care about it.
I think it's safe to say we've been through a lot of changes, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera, and more importantly, in life. I think we've all seen so much in nearly a decade together. What we do beyond action, cut, and that's a wrap is life. And we're all able to share that with one another, which is pretty amazing. I'm happy to have spent this decade with you guys. So in true Criminal Minds tradition, I'm going to end this with a little quote, as we do every week. Elbert Hubbard said, "He has achieved success who has worked well, laughed often, and loved much." And I think we're all living proof of that.
Cheers.